All right, my last video talked about something called speaker impedance modeling, which was a feature that was added on the Fractal XFX 3, was added in Firmware 11 beta. Everything is on the XFX itself right now. Itself, that's not even a word. Itself, it's not an X edit yet. I got a comment that actually pointed out my comparison was off, and he was right. So between that and Matt Cohen actually commented on something I had, just more of a terminology thing. And so I want to explain those two quickly and then show you a comparison, because it wasn't a fair comparison. The changes were pretty drastic, and in a nutshell, I was choosing a flat impedance curve, and that was the null value, I thought, which was not true. And then I was putting in a custom, what Matt was saying, they're actually high resolution cab impedance curves. And so I was, putting those in, and then when you heard the difference, it went from flat to like this other curve, which was pretty drastic. So my point is, pre-Firmware 11, these curves actually already exist. They're just not custom curves, which is this new speaker impedance modeling. So if you look on AxEdit, you'll see there's a curve existing already. This is one of my existing presets. And this, when you update to Firmware 11, your existing presets will still have this curve in there. Now what the speaker impedance modeling is doing is giving these high resolution cab impedance curves, which are, custom, basically based on like 47 speaker impedance models, is what the release notes say. So if I go over to the advanced tab on the XFX, like I was saying, this null cabinet kind of confused people. So it just doesn't put a cabinet on there at all. It wants to preserve what you had before, this just generic speaker curve. Right now it's null cabinet. As soon as I start changing this to whatever matches the IR that I have, it's not going to magically change the cabinet IR, right? It's going to just basically give you this cab impedance curve for whatever you choose on here. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Look on the screen. As I change this, I'm going to change it to a 412 greenback, and you'll see the curves changing. So here is the curve of the 412 Brit greenback, and it kind of best matches what I've got here. Now, what I can do is, if I want to go, and this was the comment that I got, is that all I needed to do a comparison was to go to the speaker tab and just go down to cabinet resonance, which is defaults to 100%, and just change that to 0. That is a true a comparison between the old impedance curve and the new one. So I'm going to do that. We're going to go to the old one, and you can watch as I'm turning this to 0%. You'll see all the stuff changes there. So let's go to 0. Actually, it doesn't change the numbers over there, but that's okay. You can see the curve changing. So here it is pre that, and actually the values go from 0 to 200%. So you can go to the default of 100%, and then you can jump it even further. But you can see where where the frequencies are changing here. So here's pre Firmware 11. All right, now I'm going to change it back to 100%. So that, to me, there is a tonal change to it. Not as drastic as like having this flat curve. And I'll show you that flat curve. So if we go over here and I change it back to a null cabinet, you'll see this flat curve on the screen. So let me go back to the advanced page, all the way to null cabinet. Now this is what I was comparing, Now I'll set it back. So you can hear there's a bigger difference there, and rightly so. So my mistake, and now I'm understanding, I'm grasping. I didn't realize it was throwing it to a flat curve there. And even if I would have seen it, I probably still wouldn't have grasped it. So thanks for everybody out there that's smarter than me. I appreciate you pointing that out. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and we'll talk to you later.